favorite wide receiver 2 and flex wide receiver targets. Q, start us off. Who's your favorite wide receiver 2 and then flex target?
Sean, I know you like this one. DJ Moore is my favorite wide receiver 2 target this year.
Yes.
I have him ranked should have this written down. I have ranked number 19. He was one of 3 receivers last year to finish 8 games with at least 93 receiving yards when an offense that was very up and down. No Christian McCaffrey and a quarterback that was a little average. It's surprising, but he finished like that stat was him, Diggs, and Calvin Ridley. You hope that the touchdowns are something that improves over the next couple of years, or over this season at least. Sorry,
of course.
Whether it's with Sam Darnold or PJ Walker, because he had a pretty good Temple alum. But I think he also sees a huge benefit with Curtis Samuel now being in Washington. He has wide receiver 1 upside if he finds the end zone. Because obviously he's putting the yard statistic together, but touchdowns is something that we need to see. You drafted him as a wide receiver 2, but could have wide receiver 1 upside.
Yeah, I like him as wide receiver 2. I recommend not drafting him as wide receiver 1 because I did that last year.
Him and Matthew Stafford and DJ Moore were 2 guys where I just remember Sean saying all year, he's going to score. Or the Panthers are down, Lions are down. Please,
they need points.
Produce.
All right, Q, who you got? Flex?
Favorite flex, the guy that I own, so it's a little biased, but Odell Beckham Jr. Injured last year, so we couldn't really see what he was working with in Cleveland, but he averaged at least 7 targets in the games he did play, which was about, I think, 8 games. He was on pace for about 100 targets, and the statistic of 32 wide receivers, 24 of them who saw that amount finished top 24, and the lowest was wide receiver 38. So OBJ is definitely extremely talented. If he sees that amount of targets again, hopefully Baker's not forcing it. And well, I mean, hopefully he does force it if you're not playing Baker as a quarterback.
Hopefully it's natural though.
Yeah. The offense is extremely run heavy, but Odell Beckham with his skill set, and if he sees those targets, could finish as a top 20, maybe 15. We've seen him be that good before.
Yeah.
Definitely, sure. If he sees those targets, he'll be the best flex play that you could possibly have.
I hear you. I like OBJ as well. T-Gods, what do you got for us?
All right, my wide receiver 2 target for this year is going to be little Cooper Kupp. I love me some Cooper Kupp. ESPN has him at wide receiver 21, and they have Woods at wide receiver 15. But would either of you really be that surprised if it was the other way around? I wouldn't be a little surprised, but not like it's not crazy. It's
wouldn't
not
be crazy.
Yeah, definitely
it's happened
be
before.
Crazy.
Happened 2 years ago.
It did in 2019. Cooper Kupp finished wide receiver 4. Robert Woods finished wide receiver 14. And Kupp only played 1 more game than Woods that year. We've seen it happen. It can easily happen again. We're all like praising Matthew Stafford, saying that they got a big upgrade in quarterback. So you got to keep that same energy with the receivers too. And they just lost their running back 1. He's going to be slinging the rock, guaranteed.
Slinging the rock.
That's what he's used to.
And my flex, here it comes. I'm sorry, everybody, but it's Tyler Lockett.
Again.
It's Tyler Lockett. He's going wide receiver 25. Now, we know he's Mr. Inconsistent. That's an obvious. Like, he had some crazy games last year, 9 receptions, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, 15 receptions, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 14 receptions, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he had under 5 receptions in 7 games. That's concerning. But if your flex that you took in the 4th, 5th, 6th round can finish as a top 5 overall player for a couple weeks, like, you're super happy about that. You're automatically winning those weeks. I don't care. You're easily winning those weeks. So, I mean, yeah, it's a little boomer bust. It's a little risky, but for where you're getting him and the potential that he has, I'll take the risk on him.
I like it.
Thanks.
All right, Matt, what do you got for us?
All right, I'm back. My favorite wide receiver 2 target, I'm going to go opposite of T-Gods and take Bobby Backwoods. I love me some Robert Woods.
They're both going to be good.
They are. They are. I mean, he finished wide receiver 13 last year. According to Fantasy Pros, his ADP right now is wide receiver 18. So, I mean, you could be getting a potential wide receiver 1 at the cost of a wide receiver 2. I mean, he proved it last year. He finished one spot out of finishing inside the wide receiver 1 range. We've been talking about the QB upgrade. One thing that T-Gods did hint on that I was going to bring up was they lost Cam Akers. I mean, who knows how much that they really trust Darrell Henderson to be their number 1. Obviously, they didn't show too much trust in him last year when they gave his position away to Cam Akers. So, I mean, I just think that they're going to rely heavily on these receivers, both in the passing game. And I always bring up Robert Woods for his occasional run game usage. And I have to. I mean, he had 2 rushing touchdowns last year, so that's just the cherry on top.
I mean, we talk about Curtis Samuel as with his rushing ability, or like he's had rushing attempts before. I think Robert Woods, like Curtis Samuel finished so well because of what he was able to do rushing the ball. Robert Woods is just 10 times better than that.
Yeah. I'm not going to put Robert Woods' rushing ability on the same level as Curtis Samuel because he was used as like an actual running back here and there, but he could definitely get you some extra points.
Yeah.
And my favorite flex, I got to go Brandon Ayuk. I love this man this year.
T-God's guy too.
Currently,
I forget which one he hated.
Wide receiver 26. So you could be getting a lot of bang for your buck with Brandon Ayuk. His numbers last year, I did a little quick math earlier, put it on a 16-game scale. If he had the same production throughout the 12 games throughout the whole season last year, he would have been with guys like Adam Thielen and Mike Evans. So, solid. I mean, that is very solid. And if you can get a potential high-end wide receiver 2 at flex value, I mean, give me that all day. You're getting them on clearance at that point.
I think you want Garoppolo to be the quarterback, though. Just because Justin Fields has the rushing, the ability to rush the ball.
Trey.
Garoppolo is not looking to run, so he's going to – Trey Lance is not looking to Garoppolo is not looking to run the ball. Trey Lance has that ability to run the ball. I think who was their quarterback last year after him? Nick Mullins, and was it just Nick Mullins?
Nick Mullins, yeah. And CJ Beathard.
Nick Mullins.
And Ayuk was a stud with both of them because they need to throw the ball. They can't run.
Yeah, Ayuk at flex is definitely a solid draft pick, no doubt.
All right. I got a little notification I do want to throw out there. The Falcons are 100% vaccinated.
That's good.
Draft your Falcons.
Throwing that out there.
Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts, Mike Davis, I guess, too.
Matt Ryan.
Matty Ice. Whoever else you want. All right. I'll finish this off here.
Young Hoku.
Swing him.
Easily. All right. Wide receiver 2, Amari Cooper. He's currently going at wide receiver 17. His ADP has been sliding while CeeDee Lamb's has been climbing, and that's what I like to see because I still think Amari Cooper's the number 1 guy on this team. As I mentioned already earlier, number 1 wide receiver in fantasy before Dak got hurt last year. He had 33 points in 2 of those 4 games. He was eating. He's going to eat again. It's not like he's super old or anything like some of these other wide receivers that we've been fading. Amari Cooper is still young. He's still got a lot of talent left. I do think CeeDee Lamb makes a bigger impact this year, but this offense is going to be throwing a ton. That defense stinks. Amari Cooper's still going to be arguably a wide receiver 1 upside, definitely a high-end wide receiver 2 for me. And he's falling almost to the mid wide receiver 2 territory. Give me Amari Cooper all day, wide receiver 2.
You think like once he was removed from the PUP list that he would maybe go up in ADP or just stay the same? Why is he going down?
People are loving CeeDee Lamb hype. It's getting out of control. I'm bringing it back.
Definitely it's a little out of control.
Take some Amari Cooper. For flex, give me DJ Chark. And talked about him already. ADP wide receiver 35. I get him a little bit higher at wide receiver 30. Trevor Lawrence, upgrade at quarterback. He does have a little bit more competition, like we mentioned with Marvin Jones. I do think Marvin Jones is going to be involved, but I don't think he's going to take away what DJ Chark is going to be able to do. In 2019, DJ Chark was wide receiver 17 on the season. And then last year, injury riddled a little bit, missed a lot of games, finished wide receiver 49. I think he lands somewhere in the middle of that this year. And that's why I got him at wide receiver 30. I think he's going to be a really solid flex option this year.
Do we believe the depth chart of Gardner Minshew being over Trevor Lawrence?
No.
I didn't
But
watch
even
that
if
game, so
so,
I don't know. Did
Gardner
Minshew
Minshew
start?
used to feed Chark too. So
Did Minshew start that game?
I don't think so. I don't think he. I don't remember. I didn't watch that game. So
That just makes it
He
even like
played. He didn't
crazier.
start.
The fact that he's number one didn't start. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Urban Meyer's scaring me a little bit with that team. He's making some wild decisions, but we shall see. I still like Chark. All right, before we get to Q's trivia, let's do our rookie wide receivers and bold takes. Start with rookie wide receiver targets. Q. We already talked about Jamar Chase. That's your guy.
he is. Oh no, I'm trying to find the fucking.
All right, T-Gods.
Okay.
Wait, I have it.
All right.
All right, so
all
rookie
right.
wide receiver. I think he's the guy you want to draft. He has the. I mean, because of Devonta Smith's injury, it gives him a little bit of a risk.
Back in
But-
practice.
Yes, still a little bit of a risk just because
Little
he's
bit
from
of a
Philly. It's the air. Jamar Chase went 5th overall for a reason. They could have taken one of the top offensive linemen in the draft to protect their quarterback who just came back from injury. But I don't like the chemistry narrative. I think it's fake, but they did play in college together. So he's going to be, I think he's going to be the target.
You got to
For-
pick a side on that.
Sometimes it's real. Sometimes it's not.
You're
Like, I can
bouncing
give-
around.
Last year, T. Higgins was wide receiver 11 when Joe Burrow played the 8 games that he did. And I think Jamar Chase is better than that. So I think if Joe Burrow can play a whole season, he'll be wide receiver 11 or better than that. Obviously, Higgins will be taking some of that production away, which will cap the ceiling, the upside ceiling of Jamar Chase. But I think he'll have plenty of top 12 to 15 finishes weekly if Burrow's going to be throwing the ball, hopefully as much as he did last year. I don't think that's healthy for his arm, but 60 times a game, that's a lot.
He's going to need Tommy John surgery.
You can definitely spread it out with that many throws. All right,
But yeah,
T-Gods.
yeah.
Oh, good.
All right, Matt, how you want to do this?
Hey, go ahead. I'll chime in when needed.
All right. No. I want you to start.
Well, we already know
All right.
Q's also on this stream with you. He thinks he's
Q
going to
is
put
on
up
the
Justin
stream.
Jefferson numbers. But what do you guys got?
We got Devonta Smith. I'm going to go with Devonta Smith because he's being drafted into that clear-cut wide receiver 1 role on his team. I mean, there's not going to be much fight for targets in the wide receiver position in Philadelphia.
What do you mean? We
Aside-
have John Hightower. We have
Come on,
JJ
Quez
Arcega
Watkins.
Whiteside.
Quez Watkins?
His
Quez got
biggest
some hype.
competition is going to be like Jalen
Ertz and
Rager
Goddard.
and Travis.
just
exactly.
Ertz and Goddard, that's
I'm
it.
going
I think,
wide
yeah,
receivers.
the
I'm going wide
competition is the tight
receivers.
ends.
All right.
Yeah,
There is
I'm
no
going wide-
competition at wide
there
receiver.
isn't.
There is
That's
none.
what I'm saying. All you got to do is worry about the tight ends. But Devonta Smith is going to get his for sure. The volume does not scare me. I'm sure he's going to be able to produce off of it. T-Gods, how many touchdowns did he have last year in college?
Let's see. Last year in college, he had 117 receptions, 1,856 yards, 23 touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
23 touchdowns.
Broke like nearly almost every single receiving record that there is to ever break. So, I mean, I have all the faith in the world as a Philadelphia Eagles fan and as a fantasy player in Devonta Smith.
Yep.
I
You
just want to
just-
say those numbers, if, we're doing that little thing again where if that was in the NFL and he played 16 games, not 17, 16 games with that pace, that's 144 receptions, 2,284 yards, and 28 touchdowns.
Yeah, college is definitely
I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I'm not gonna say. He's
I mean,
gonna do all
but he
that.
was
But
playing
he's
on-
going to be nice.
He was playing in a good conference, so like he wasn't playing against a bunch of scrubs.
Yeah, he wasn't playing scrubs.
Yeah.
The SEC is elite. So I do agree with you there. All right, I'll finish this off. I'm taking Rondell Moore, a little bit more slept on than some of these other wide receivers. His ADP is currently wide receiver 68. Only reason he is slept on is because he was banged up the last 2 years of college. He only played 4 games in 2019 and then 3 games in 2020, partially due to the pandemic as well. So it's not like he missed a lot of games last year, but the pandemic definitely hurt. I'm taking Rondell Moore. He's essentially going free at wide receiver 68. And in 2018, when he did play a full season, 114 catches, 1,258 yards, 12 touchdowns, also added 21 carries for another 200 yards and 2 more touchdowns. So he's got more of a gadget to him. He could definitely be used in the run game. But I also think he's going to be over the slot, Kyler's go-to guy after DeAndre Hopkins. So Rondell Moore.
I don't know about what I've read is that AJ Green is AJ Green of prime. So I
Dude,
think
can you please give it up on AJ?
I think
He's
Rondo.
washed.
I
I
thought
think
we all learned our lesson. Like
Listen, I
4
think
Rondo
years
was in the
ago.
slot anyway, so it's a little
I
bit
think
different.
Rondo Moore is fighting targets with Christian Kirk.
I'm surprised it's you constantly
Kirk's
bringing
on
up
the
AJ
outside,
Green
though.
instead of T Gods.
No, I gave up on him last year. Last year, I
Thank-
realized that
thank
he
you.
is a virus. If he's on your team,
Thank
you're
you.
losing.
That was like Larry Fitzgerald the one year.
Exactly. Don't draft AJ Green. Draft Rondell
Don't.
Moore. Don't
Yeah.
listen to Q.
I agree with you.
And Andy Isabella, is he going to finish above him?
Easily. Andy Isabella is not doing anything. Wide receiver 5.
That's like a compliment.
No, he's wide receiver 5 on their depth chart.
I think it meant fantasy.
No, he's like a wide receiver 10 in fantasy. he's a deep bench guy in Dynasty. All right, let's keep it rolling. Wide receiver Bold takes. Q, you want to start us off again here?
Is it Bold? I think Dick finishes wide receiver 1 and leads all wide receiver statistical categories. Well, touchdowns and receiving yards. Targets may be hard to do, but I mean, who's he competing with? Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley. I think it
Don't
only
ever disrespect the heavy nuts like that, man.
who? Heavy nuts.
Heavy nuts.
Oh,
Yeah.
heavy nuts.
Oh,
Mr. No vaccine. It's only after 1 year, Diggs. Who would ever thought that we'd be talking about Diggs, the top 3 receiver in the NFL?
Not me.
Not
I
me.
still can't believe it.
Especially Sean. Yeah,
Definitely
seriously.
not me, but I believe it.
I'm not gonna say I called him top 3, but I definitely called him making a big leap, getting away from Kirk Cousins.
I don't believe
You
it.
did. You were
I
hyped
believe
last
it.
year on him. You
I
were.
was.
And I said it was
Go back
last
and
year. I said it
rewatch,
was.
Deegs.
I said it was a downgrade from Kirk Cousins to Josh Allen.
Yeah,
You were asleep.
that age.
You're
I was-
fried.
But
Q's all in now.
1 year and he's top 3. Why not be top 1? What's the difference?
All
You
right.
just, I mean, unless
spots.
Aaron Rodgers is Michael Jordan this year on the Last Dance, I
Could
don't
be.
see a reason why he couldn't be number 1.
I hear where you're coming from. All right, T-Gods, talk about the guy opposite, the guy on your jersey.
All right. So we can all agree that Calvin Ridley had a monster year, right?
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
No?
Yes,
No, Matt was shaking his head no.
that's crazy.
So this man, Russell Gage, only had 18 fewer receptions than him. That's right there. That ain't too bad.
Pretty
but-
substantial.
He had 109 targets last year. And in a similar situation to why I chose Devonta Smith as my rookie receiver, it's just going to be volume. The Falcons over the past 3 years are the fourth most pass-heavy offense in the league. They throw the ball all the time. 63% of their plays are throws. And I get it. Kyle Pitts is coming in. He might be the second option, sure, but in an offense like that where they throw the ball so much, that's fine. Russell Gage is still going to get looks. And last year he finished wide receiver 37 while playing with Calvin Ridley and Julio. Julio did miss time, but still wide receiver 37. And right now he's going as wide receiver 56. That's like free. That's a free little. Someone gets hurt, throw him in there. Bye week, throw him in there. Russell Gage, he's going to be solid. He's going to get volume. Just scoop him. He's free. He's literally free.
How about Zacchaeus?
He'd give him
Nobody
off,
cares about
Mohamed
Zacchaeus.
Sanu vibes.
Whoa.
Olamide. He's a sleeper for sure. All right, Matt. Talk about our guy Julio we mentioned earlier.
Yes, sir. I believe that Julio Jones of the Tennessee Titans finds his way back into the top 10 fantasy receivers this year. I mean, he's
With
leaving
you.
Atlanta. He's coming to a much more run-heavy but efficient offense in Tennessee. I believe that Tennessee is going to be scoring a lot, and I think that's a great chance for Julio to get his touchdowns up. I mean, they're going to be in the red zone a ton, and if they're not running it with Derrick Henry, they're either throwing it to one of the 2 beasts that they have on the outside, and that's either Julio Jones or A.J. Brown. And I honestly think that there's plenty of targets to go around because other than those 2, there is nobody that is getting a target, like even thought of getting a target on that team. Q, where did you
Everybody
go?
just saw your ugly ass picture.
Q's mugshot.
Nice. Yeah, I like Julio too. Just to add on to you, Matt, I think the last 6 years before last year, he was never lower than 7 in PPR. Might as well get back in the top 10 after a down year. Might as well.
I hope so.
All right. I'll finish this off here.
Harry,
Talk about-
Harry, trivia.
Paris Campbell, again, We're bringing him up again this year. I'm back on the wagon after that one catch for 37 yards in that preseason game
That's
this
all I had
past
to
week.
say.
Dude, that's all I had to say, and I was back on the Paris Campbell train.
That's
This
all I
dude
had
is
to see from
healthy.
Marvin.
If this dude is healthy, he has the talent. I like Paris Campbell to be a top 40 wide receiver if he's able to stay healthy with flex upside on a weekly basis. Giving Paris Campbell this year, like him a lot, and he's going pretty much for free as the third wide receiver on the Colts. With Wentz coming back, possibly week 1, they love how he's progressing right now. Give me Paris Campbell.
All right.
Just need him
So
to stay
you would
healthy.
have, even like, okay, he had the 37-yard catch, but even without the Wentz news, he's still a target for you, or a hot
Wentz,
take.
I mean, with Wentz missing, if Wentz misses like 6 games, obviously I'm dropping him a little bit, but
You're
it's
dropping.
looking like Wentz is going to be back within the first couple of weeks. So I'm taking
Surprise,
Paris
surprise.
Campbell. It's my wide receiver 5 or 6 with ease, where he's essentially going free.